Hello, ladies and gents. It's time for that time of the week again. I've gotten some more stuff to show off, so yeah, most of this stuff is like just cheap stuff that I got, you know. But some of it is a little bit more special. So starting off with the cheapest of the cheap, I got the Friday soundtrack. Not much to say. Most people probably know about songs like Friday by Ice Cube, Keep Their Heads Ringing, Dr. Dre, Roll It Up, Light It Up, Smoking Up by Cypress Hill. Very well known soundtrack. I got this for dirt cheap. Well worth having. And speaking of Ice Cube, I don't know why it's only it's taken me so long to get this album. I have no real good excuse really, but I've loved this album for a long time, and I finally got round to adding it to my collection. It is the West Side Connection's first album, Bow Down. This soundtrack came out in '95, and this album came out in '96. And yeah, this is actually one of my favorite albums ever, and I think it's awesome. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, just all of the songs are just amazing. The only songs that I don't really like as much as the other ones is Westward Ho, but apart from that, the rest of the album is just brilliant. I think the beats on this album blow like most 1996 like West Coast albums out of the water. Like a lot of the production on this album was done by a guy called Buddha, very underrated West Coast producer. I think one of the first things he worked on was the Caution album. He did a few tracks on that. I would love to get that album, but it's been out of print since the mid '90s, and it's really hard to get. But I would love to get that album. And he also like did some beats for the Dr. Dre Aftermath compilation. He did some beats on there. He did some beats for like the King T Kingdom Come album that was supposed to come out on Aftermath, and of course didn't. It ended up coming out later on, but yeah, I don't know what was up with the release of that. I'll probably cover that album someday. But yeah, West Side Connection, Bow Down. It's just an absolutely fantastic album. The last truly great thing Ice Cube did music wise. And I want to dig more into Dub C and Mac 10's respective careers, because I really don't know that much about them. I just know that they're both very good, especially Dub C. I think he's pretty underrated actually. Not many people talk about him. He's really great. So yeah, no introduction needed for the next artist. KRS-One's I got next. Again, this was dirt cheap as well. I don't have his second album, the self-titled one. I've heard some of it, and I think it's very good. And I got this album, yeah, just dirt cheap, and this is really good condition actually. I've listened to most of it. I think it's reasonably good. It sounds a little bit thrown together and a bit all over the place to me, but I think it's pretty good. I think it's a pretty solid album. Yeah, so that's kind of my first impressions of that. But it's KRS-One. He's one of the greatest of all time. I have all the Boogie Down production stuff, and I love all that stuff. And I think his first couple of solo stuff is just awesome as well. So yeah, that's that. Here's the. I'm sort of. This is a bit of an inside joke with some of the community that some of the friends have made over the past month or so. I don't know how this came about, but yeah, I now have Selly Sells the G files. I don't know how this started. I know it started with my good friend Jake McMahon picking this album up, but I don't know how it became like an inside joke. And as a result of this inside joke, I now have like his first three albums. I actually think this is not a bad album. I actually think it's a pretty decent. Like the late '90s was kind of a bit shaky when it comes to West Coast stuff, but I think this is a pretty decent album. The beats on it are actually pretty good. They're better than the MC Ren Ruthless for Life album that came out the same year, for instance. It's really long, as most like late '90s albums are. It's like 70 odd minutes long. It's far too long, but It actually isn't bad. It's a good album to put on in the background if you don't, have anything else to put in the background. But if you want to get into Steady Cell, I'd recommend is probably Killer Kelly or even Heat for Your Ass, which is pretty good as well. Here's some East Coast stuff. This is a bit more getting into the slightly more expensive stuff. Here is Group Home's Living Proof. This is their debut album, came out in '95. They're Gangstar affiliates. Most of this album was produced by DJ Premier. And the beats on this album are insane. They're really, really good. And yeah, this is a really good album. I have the version that has the exclusive track, So Called Friends, you can see there. I don't know why. Maybe that's a European thing. I'm not that sure. I think it might be just certain copies have that song. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, this is an awesome album. Maybe the rapping's not like blowing me, it's not blowing my wig off, but it's just the beats are insane. And I think that both I think it's Little Dap and like Malachi the Nutcracker, something like that. Yeah, I'm not that familiar with these guys, but yeah, I think they suit the beats that they're on. You know what I mean? Their voices work very well with DJ Premier's production, and I would be interested to check out their second album if it came out in '99. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. It's like Tear for the Ghetto or something. If you haven't noticed, I do all these videos off the top of my head. So yeah, I would like to get that album someday, because I've read that a lot of fans actually think that album's pretty good, even though some people read it off because DJ Premier is not really on it that much. But yeah, no, I'll definitely check that album out sometime. But yeah, Group Home, Living Proof. Definitely well worth getting. It's an excellent, really, really good album for sure. Then some more classic West Coast stuff here. I got the King T's The Trifling album, and I also got King T's For Life, his third and fourth album respectively, 1993 and 1995. This came out in 1995, and that came out in 1998, and I Got Next came out in 1997. I'm supposed to say these with the albums as a show of them, but I always forget. Yeah, so King T, both of the, I haven't really listened to For Life yet because it only just came today, but from what I've heard, this album's awesome. I really, really like it. It's very dark and gritty. It's almost kind of boom bapish, has almost like a East Coast sort of sound. It's really, really good. And the Trifling album is very good as well. I've listened to this one a couple of times, and yeah, very good album. Yeah, basically I've ordered Active Fool as well, because these 2016 Japanese reissues, they're gonna go out of stock probably quite soon, and probably fall out of print again. So I thought I might as well get them all now while they're sort of at a good price. And yeah, I would hate to miss out on that basically, because I think King T's really good. He's really underrated, and more people should check out his stuff. So yeah, that's about it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I know it wasn't that exciting, the stuff that I showed, but I hope you guys dug it anyway, and I'll see you guys next time.